Why, hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is The Boys Season 4 spoiler review, so without further ado, let's discuss. Alright, so this is going to be a spoiler review. As I do that, but apologies. This is going to be a spoiler review. So, all 8 episodes are officially done over with, finished last week, and I gotta say, after finishing, after watching Gen V last year, as I have a video up, I can put a card up there for you guys if you missed that. This season feels like let me say something for the people that weren't really into this season. I felt like it worked a lot. In my opinion, like all the first 2 seasons of The Boys worked. It just worked a lot not nicer. I just liked it a lot more. I think I just gotta like all the seasons. They're not just all bonkers, and this season is just the same bonkersness. And them including stuff from Gen V really is nice. I thought they were going to lean heavily more into the Gen V stuff, but I thought what they did was great. And episode 1 just kicks off with Homelander. Let's just kick off right on there, right? So Homelander is dealing with his son. And, after it says, after Butcher misses the opportunity to kill Homelander by Soldier Boy, he attempts to get Brian back on his side. And meanwhile, Homelander seeks out a new ally into terms with his morality, which is this government woman and all this other stuff. There's all this government politics, and furthermore, in the finale, there's a lot more politics and stuff. But I feel like it really, I was kind of annoyed prior to watching the episode, like when it puts this thing on the screen, oh, there's gonna be more politics, and I'm like, oh, come on, really? But I think it really works in the finale, in the season as a whole. But I'll get more of that at the end here in the video. But as all the episodes progress, it just feels narratively focused. I don't know. I really liked it. I think because it deals with his son, it feels like they have a clear focus where they want to go by the end of this, but it's season 5. But I like the first 3 seasons. I feel like maybe watching them all together, from start to finish, might make a lot more sense. Maybe context. But the whole 7 ordeal it's just fascinating to watch, and I feel like the deep, the Aquaman character in the show is such a unique, fascinating character, because we learn more about him and his life outside of being a superhero. Well, I shouldn't say outside, but in the room, him having a relationship with an octopus is so bizarre, but at the same time very unique. And that voice, the voice of the octopus, I'm gonna look that up real fast. Voice of Octopus in The Boys was Chase Crawford, who was also was Tilda Swinton, who was the Ancient One. And I'm like, really? So I was like, that was kind of neat to hear her voice in there, and it's such a bizarre show and role. It's another superhero thing, so I quite like that. Episode 2 gives us more of, Homelander and Ryan, his son, but we're going to TruthCon. And there's this whole thing, dude, this was one of the craziest things. I mean, besides, a ding-dong, a man going into a shrunken man going into another guy's ding-dong. But besides that, it was like this human centipede of people just going at it. And I'm like, this is bizarre. Because we see it in a sauna, for one thing, and I'm like, okay, crazy. And then the Spanish guy's like, I've seen enough. It just closes the door, and then they have this whole entire fight at TruthCon where there's bar mitzvahs happening, or there's bat mitzvahs happening, and they're like, Mazel Tov, as they're fighting and everything. I'm like, this is just such a bizarre fight. What is going on? And then, in episode 3, we get, The problems have started between Homelander and Starlight supporters. Huey tries to figure out what's been going on between Homelander and Victoria Newman. So there's this whole investigation happening, and I feel like I believe that Starlight and Homelander had a thing going. I think it was this episode where they have a brawl at the panel, right, where they're fighting, or where they're Firecracker's giving a speech, and Starlight doesn't like it, so she takes action and goes there. Episode 4 is what really kicks in for me. Like, I thought was, it's this top rated here. It's the top rated episode of the season. I feel like it's the best one. I feel like this is the one where it's boys at its peak. All these episodes, the entire show is like best superpower. Because I saw an interview with Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, is like, this, in a world where superhero things are, like, people are having a problem with superhero fatigue, this is a show that'll get you off that train and be like, haha, A-Train. It was one of the best, this is one of the best superhero things out there. And, by the way, I forgot to mention, in this show, in this season, we get a movie called Training A-Train, with Will Ferrell as playing himself, or I guess starring as himself in the show, but playing a coach in the movie. It was hilarious to see Will Ferrell in it. It was hilarious. So I loved it a lot. But as I said, episode 4 was the best Homelander acting we've seen in a while. Like, I love this dude. And I watched Anthony Starr in the Covenant movie, and then he's also in this movie called Cobweb, which I'm kind of interested to see now that I know he's in it. But I'm like, dude, give the Emmy nomination to Anthony Starr right away, because this performance in episode 4 was amazing. When you just see him doing these inappropriate, god-awful things to his people, the people that created him, nonetheless, so to speak, and it's just godright awful and, so the worst. And I'd like to say more, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, because, you just see a guy, like, forking and jorking it, if you so to speak, on the camera. Like, not his pants aren't down, but then you see, Homelander just saw off his crotch area, his bathing suit parts, just laser, and it's the worst thing you ever could see. And then in episode 5, Beware the Jabberwock, My Son. I love the title of the episode, but we get like flying sheep, demon sheep, pigs, and like V, like the chemical compound V, doing the Gen V compound, or the chemical, the virus in them, and they give it to the animals, and it's like, at the end of the episode, it's like, oh, McDonald had a farm, and it's like, this is messed up. By the way, we have the Billy Butcher mind thing going on here, the crazy mental crisis going on in him, because he has a virus in him, and this makes him see a couple people. 1, his dead wife. 2, this other man, who I really thought the entire time I'm watching it looks a lot like John Hamm, like with this white grayish beard, but it's not. It's some other guy. I don't recall the actor. But he then realizes, I think it might be Dirty Biz. I believe it's the one after Beware the Jabberwock, My Son, where at the end it says, oh, McDonald has a farm. Then it's the next episode, Dirty Business, where Billy Butcher finally finds out that he's been seeing these people in his head. It's just been him all the time. They're not really there. They're all in his head. So I really like that comeback story, or that full circle from the beginning of where he realizes it and he notices, wait, all these scenes, all these flashback scenes, all these memory scenes about, oh wait, you weren't there. Holy crap, that changes everything. And it's just interesting to see these things play out. Speaking of nothing, because really I didn't have anything to say. So going there, like, I think it was episode. There's just, the fight scenes are crazy, intense, and like I said, just all out insane. But I believe it might have been episode 6 where episode 6, there was one of the episodes where Huey's dad came back. Oh yeah, it was one of the episodes where they had this weird like torture chamber, and it was insane. It was weird. They had this whole torture chamber with Web Slinger. Was it Web Slinger? Dude, I'm gonna get canceled for this. I swear to God. Web. Web Weaver. Where they had Huey put on this Web Weaver costume, and then they were in to go take down Vought, and in the next season they're going to take down Vought and Homelander is one of the things they talked about in the finale, and he has this Web Weaver costume, and there's like this weird torture chamber that was just it's so explicit, and I can't even go to how badly it like. I don't want to say how badly I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It was enough. And I was like, okay, we'll wrap this up, please. Like, we'll wrap this up in the show. But it made for a very interesting, grotesque, more or less entertaining for what the content is of the show. Not that I really wanted to do it, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, this is terrible. Please stop doing this with the characters. So that happened. And Huey finally got out of it, and Huey it was not this episode, but one of the episodes where he got his dad back, who was played by Simon Pegg, who is Benji in Mission Impossible, who is in the Cornetto trilogy. Love that actor. Doing an American accent here and voice in this show, and he has the drug. He took the virus, Gen V drug, or the V drug, and he's running off with these like new powers that he can't control. These new powers that they're powers, but he doesn't know how to control them. And he's like facing through people, kills a guy, blows a guy's head off, takes a guy's heart out, rips it, crushes it, like just insane things like that. And then you're left wondering what's going to happen to him. I believe he doesn't die from the powers. He's back in the hospital bed because he was in a coma before. He's in the hospital bed, and they put him to sleep. They drug him, put him to sleep because of the mental. He's like, "Who are you?" Like he doesn't even know his son was an adult. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go take care of my son. That's like 6 years old." And I'm like, no, your son's right here. He's like, "No, oh, goodbye. I want to go." I think he said, "I want to go on a Disney cruise." Was the last thing? He was like, "Oh, I want to go on a Disney cruise or do all the things from the Princess Bride or something." Maybe that's what he said. Like, we could do all the things like the Princess Bride, was gonna like all the scenes from Princess Bride. Is like, okay, if that's what I recall, because I believe that's what he said. I'll have to look it up after this review, and if I'm wrong, I'll do something. I probably won't do anything. But yeah, and then in episode 7, there's a whole puppet commercial, kind of like they said they were doing like the A-Train, the marketing for the A-Train movie. Here's some puppet scenes, guys. There's a whole song about it. It's all right. They had puppet scenes in Gen V too, which was a whole like fight scene with puppets exploding, and it was very fun, very fun. But I love Gen V, and I love this, and the finale had some of the best. There was great fighting in all of this season, but I have to say, this finale felt so epic because I love Gen V, right? But I can't even tell you like. The fighting in that show made it all worth. And I have to say, in whatever episode it was of the season, because all these episodes are a blur and they're all so great that I can't even remember what episode it was. I should have done. I take down notes. I didn't do it for this thing. I'm just looking at what happened. But in episode whatever it was, like I said, where the two characters, the Luke and the mind reading chick from Gen V are in there, and they're at the table with the 7, and I'm like, how did they get there? Huh? How'd they get it? Because they talked about all the people that are locked up in that one room, like that white room with no walls, no doors, no windows, no doors. And I'm like, huh, cool, they're mentioning it. Oh wait, how did these two people get there? How did they get to the 7? And I'm like, okay, maybe they contacted them. But then I was waiting for an explanation like, yeah, we gotta go do this, right? And then they show up again in the finale, and I'm like, where they're kidnapping the Spanish dude. And the Spanish dude had this one relationship with another guy, he was gay, and I was like, oh, cool, like, they're going to talk about, and the writing of the show is great. I love the relationship. I think he broke, because the partner had a problem with killing his family. What a really interesting storyline. And then at the end, when the Spanish guy gets kidnapped from the deaf chick, I was like, oh no, the Gen V guys are back. And it was great to see them come back, have this, I assume Gen V Season 2, because it comes out 25, maybe? 25, 26. And then we get the final Season 5 of The Boys, ties in this Gen V plotline. I'm very interested to see how they all handle it. I hope there's more characters from The Boys in Gen V Season 2, I don't know. But the way that the fight scenes in the finale with the whole shapeshifter with Annie and then her proposing, I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing it. And then it was like, oh, it's the shapeshifter, and they had the best fight scenes. Billy Butcher had one of the best like surprise ending moments, and this whole twist thing with Ryan, Homelander's son. I'm so curious to see where this next season goes and where they take this storyline, because I'm so invested. I got it. Like, I'm loving the show even more now, and I've never talked about this show on my channel before, but Gen V was awesome. This season it kicked it up the ante. Like, I don't know who and why this critic scores so low, lower than normal. I loved it a lot, and I gotta be forward. Like, this is a 9 out of 10 season, and I believe that it's a 9 out of 10 show. Is that great? I loved it a lot, and I cannot wait to see more of it. In my opinion, the fight scenes are rewatchable. I can't get enough of it. It's really that type of thing. Like, I like Doom Patrol. I wouldn't say I love Doom Patrol because they all don't feel they're canonical, but they don't all feel the same type of a season. And I've described it before, like, where, you know, season 2 of Doom Patrol was very short because they had to scrunch it for COVID. Season 3 felt like they rushed season 2 in the beginning, and then they did this new storyline. Season 4 felt like they were like, let's do similar thing to season 3, and then make up a new storyline, and then they kind of felt like, haha, we have to rush the ending, oh no! And it was just like a very heartfelt ending. Like, it didn't feel like they had the same type of structure to each season. Now, you might say the same thing about Stranger Things, but I feel like Stranger Things does just a good, wacky thing for each season. And The Boys feels like the same thing with each season, but has a different story. So, I don't know, that's me. Guys, it's a very odd way to logical aspect, but I liked it. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts on my Doom Patrol, because I like the show. I just don't like it as much as The Boys, if you're giving me a mature show. And Peacemaker's one, I really want to see more from Peacemaker, but because that first season was awesome, if you're talking about a superhero show. But this one's great. Give me more. Homelander getting milk squirted in his face from a woman was crazy to see as well. I thought that was something crazy. But everything in the show was bonkers. Give me more. And I will be watching it. Like, I just... And it's another thing, I have to say, I didn't talk about the music, but the music, like in the fight scenes and whatnot, it's very, very good. Very, very good. And it's one of those shows, like, I talked about, I ranted, raved, oh my god, I was so mad about The Acolyte, and certain shows where they don't have, like, a theme song to it. Cobra Kai has a theme song at the end of it, where they don't have, like, an intro, like Stranger Things has an intro, other things have an intro, like House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones and all that fun stuff, Rick and Morty and all that stuff. But this show just has, like, The Boys pop up, but it doesn't need not every show needs a theme song, it just needs a good story and narrative. And what I get so mad about, like, The Acolyte, it's like, but yes, but Star Wars has this awesome and epic, grandiose music. The Boys doesn't need that. Now, Doom Patrol has a theme song in the intro, but like I said, not every show needs it. The Boys ends with epic pop song, epic rock songs, or like Old MacDonald Had a Farm. That was really weird and bizarre, work for the episode. But they have great music throughout the action scenes and whatever. So that's just me, guys. 9.10 season. 9.10? No, that didn't make any sense. 9 out of 10 season. 9 out of 10 show. Let me know what you thought of The Boys Season 4 review and the show and the season in general. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel at LegoDude11 as it stays currently right now. Don't forget to follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master, links down below. Like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to, like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, play Lego, watch stuff. Peace out, everyone.